is June 30th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaimsOnline.com. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey, brought to you each and every day by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. Rammer, we got the Yankees in town this weekend, but before we talk about that series, we need to discuss what happened last night. The Cardinals fall to the Astros 14-0. And as I said on the show yesterday, we talked about it. Wednesday's game being the worst loss of the season. And I believe I said worst loss of the season so far. And then last night, go and you lose 14-0 to the Astros. So last night's loss, worst loss of the season so far.
Well, it was pretty brutal. But in the context of the season, I think Wednesday was worse because had you won that one, you win the series. And then whatever happens with Waino happens. Well, we saw what happened. It was ugly. But if you'd won Wednesday, it would have been just, hey, one of those things. But now you're on a losing streak.
They are in a bad losing streak, and Adam Wainwright just cannot seem to find anything right now when it comes to pitching. Ali Marmol after the game said that Adam Wainwright's going to make the next start, his next scheduled start. What do you think happens between now and the next 5 days?
In what regard?
Do you think that happens? Do you think he has the ball? Do you think that
I have to take him at his word?
Okay.
I mean, what would the alternative be, that Wainwright retires?
I think maybe you find a way to just give him a break and say, you know what? Hey, first game after the All-Star break is all yours. But until then, that's the next time you're going to pitch.
But he didn't say that, though.
Right. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Something he could have done. Well, I'll tell you this. Red Schoendienst moved Bob Gibson to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Walt Jocketty cut Andy Benes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope it works out great. On the Andy Benes story, I see some other media types around St. Louis taking credit for it, but I've been talking about it for 2 months. Maybe it's the tree falling in the forest, but 2 months, right when he came off the DL, he should have been talking to Andy Benes about how to resurrect a career when your stuff's not playing and finding another pitch. And the refusal to do so is typical. That's the normal thing. Doing what Andy Benes did to reinvent himself is not normal. It was marvelous. It was fantastic. And from a guy who was cut, coming back in the same season and being the best pitcher in baseball the last 2 months. But, guys, people misconstrue the word ego, but belief in oneself sometimes can get in the way of improvement.
We will. When we talk next week, we'll see what developments are made over the weekend. Media has not made their way down to Busch Stadium yet today, so we haven't heard from anybody if there have been any developments since last night, the end of the game. When the gates do open tonight at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals will be welcoming in the New York Yankees for a 3-game July 4th weekend series down at Busch Stadium. I imagine that you will get 3 very good crowds of tickets sold of 40,000 plus. We will see how many are in the stands for that. I can tell you I was outside earlier this afternoon for about 5 minutes, Rammer, and started to sweat. I know temperatures will cool down just a little bit by tonight's game, but it's going to be a hot one tonight at Busch Stadium. Cardinals taking on a Yankees team. I don't know. I don't know how you compare the two as to which one's having a more disappointing season between the Yankees or the Cardinals right now. Both teams having the reigning MVP on their team, and both teams right now doesn't look like either one's going to make the postseason.
Well, I think it's clearly the Cardinals, because with the Yankees, their season's been derailed by injury. Mm-hmm. They spent money, they brought in pitching, they had the reigning MVP, and all those guys are hurt. Part of their plan that didn't go through is trying to hang on to Josh Donaldson, who's not getting it done. They don't have any outfielders who can play. Harrison Bader hits in the middle of their order. That tells you where they are.
Yeah. They come in right now in the month of June. We are in the last day of June today, And the Yankees right now are tied for 27th for team OPS in the month of June, Rammer. The two teams worse than them offensively in the month of June, the Royals and the Athletics.
Well, you take Aaron Judge out of the lineup. Think if you took Goldschmidt out of the Cardinals lineup or
Right.
Arenado, and you go, oh my God, what is happening here? And that's what's happened to the Yankees. Stanton and Judge have hardly played.
Yeah. No, you're right. The Cardinals, the power numbers aren't there either. At 29 home runs this month, just to compare, Cardinals only have 33 in the month of June. It has just been a struggle all month long for the Yankees going into this season, and it makes you kind of wonder where or if Aaron Boone is on the hot seat and what that's looking like for him right now.
Well, again, sometimes management succumbs to public pressure, but I don't know what Boone was supposed to do.
True.
I mean, how do you replace Judge in the lineup? How do you replace Stanton? What do you do when Donaldson's hitting 120? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what a manager can do when two or three of your starters are out of the rotation. That's a tough spot for a manager.
The Luis Severino is going for the Yankees tonight. Matthew Libator going for the Cardinals on Saturday. Garrett Cole faces Jack Flaherty. And on Sunday, it will be Jordan Montgomery going against his old team. The Yankees have yet to announce a starter for that one. It'll be fun to see Garrett Cole, Jack Flaherty tomorrow. That'll be the marquee pitching matchup of the weekend series between the two teams. Garrett Cole is pitching really well. High strikeout numbers for the Yankees.
Yeah, and when it comes down to lineups, who's going to play? Looks like for the most part, Ollie's got basically 11 players for 10 spots, and he's shuffling them around. Arenado had the stiff back. You know how long that's been bothering him? About a week back. But anyway, we'll see if he gets back in the lineup. But that has not hurt the Cardinals. He's still hit. Gorman is capable at third base. So they'll figure those things out, and we'll see if they can get the offense going again after yesterday's shutout.
You mentioned the guys, the rotation that he's going with, and you've talked about it a lot this week about the platoon situation that Ali has seemed to put out there with some of the guys in the lineup. And I made a comment the other day when Alec Burleson was in the lineup that when's the last time we saw him? Forgot he was still up with the team. How about this one from last night where Oscar Mercado got a plate appearance last night? What was that? His third plate appearance in the month of June? I think for that, I mean, you're playing with 25 guys on the bench on the roster.
Well, but you wouldn't play Mercado ahead of anyone else.
No, you wouldn't.
Finding spots for guys. I'm surprised they haven't moved him into the outfield as a replacement. But like I say, you got really 11 guys that you want to play. And that's what I've been saying all year long anyway. Bench guys, sit on the bench. Mercado's a bench guy. But prospects should play, and Yepes has gone down. Luke and Baker went back down. Tells me the Cardinals still think they're prospects or have value as a perceived prospect for the trade deadline.
The rest of the weekend series all around baseball as I kind of look at what some of the other matchups are throughout the league. You have Marlins Braves. That's in Atlanta this weekend. Giants Mets right now. Giants would be a wild card team in the National League. Astros Rangers, Battle of Texas down there. Diamondbacks Angels. That's kind of a sneaky good series that you have to watch this weekend. And then maybe Tampa and Seattle too, if Seattle can get their act together.
Well, I think you're right. I think the Angels and the Diamondbacks, that's really interesting. The Angels trying to prove that they're more than a two-man team, and the Diamondbacks trying to tell everybody, hey, we're legit. You don't know any of our players, but we're legit. So that could make it a pretty fun series.
The MLB released their starters yesterday for the All-Star game for the American League and the National League. Cardinals do get Nolan Arenado to start at third base for winning over Austin Riley in the fan voting for that. And you mentioned the Diamondbacks rookie Corbin Carroll gets the nod out of there. So fans in Arizona are paying attention to their young rookie and their good team out there. Reserves will be announced, I believe, later on this, or I think on Sunday, right? Reserves are, I think, are going to be announced this Sunday before. That's usually, I think, when they do it. So we'll find out if Paul Goldschmidt makes it. I would say that's probably the only other shot that the Cardinals have for that outside of, God, I was really hoping Nolan Arenado or Nolan Gorman would keep hitting the way he was to get into the home run derby.
Yeah, a month ago, he looked like a lock.
Yeah.
But so he'll be able to use these days off, and that's just fine with me.
We will be back with you on Monday and talking about the weekend series against the Yankees as the Cardinals will be headed down to Miami for a series against the Marlins and old friend Skip Schumacher.
And John Jay coaching first.
Yeah. So, so they'll be down there in Miami for the 4th of July holiday. Rammer, you and I will be back here. Well, I guess you're going on vacation next week too. So we'll see how we make all that work out. We'll
see how it goes.
Yeah. Until then, Rammer, I know you're down at the Ballparks National for the weekend. What's going on down there?
Yeah, a fantastic sold out event, softball and baseball. It's hot everywhere, and it's hot here. So people are having a great time and playing ball, and that's what it's all about.
Bob Ramsey, I'm Joe Roderick. We are brought to you each and every day by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganast St. Louis Acura. Find them online at stlouisacura.com. Go visit them at 13720 Manchester Road and see all of the new MDXs they have out there on the lot, all of the new cars they have out there. And you can even check online at stlouisacura.com. You can go there first and see what they have on the lot. So when you show up there, you know exactly what you are looking for. Tell Clayton that we sent you here from Claibs Online and see what kind of discount they give you out there at St. Louis Acura. For Rammer, I'm Joe. We'll talk to you next week right here, claibsonline.com.
From our roots in St. Louis, Royal Banks of Missouri is branching out to continue serving you with our locations in St. Charles, Jerseyville, Granite City, and now in Hannibal, Center, and New London. Royal Banks of Missouri, the community bank in your community.